How about instead of bickering, we figure out our next move against the Speedster and his allies?
Legion of Doom has a sexual ring to it.
I'm not calling them that.
Is it smaller than a Quinjet?
That's classified. And yes, considerably.
It all started when we blew up the Time Pigs, the Time Masters. Now history's all screwed up, and it's up to us to unscrew it up. But half the time we screw things up even worse. So don't call us heroes, we're something else. We're legends. Who writes this crap anyway?
The Fandom Zone. Wonder Woman approved. Episode 105B.
Yes.
I'm Charles.
I'm Karen.
And we're back with 105B, like I said, May 27th, 2017.
Yes. And just 6 days before, well, actually 5 days before the premiere of Wonder Woman.
That's right. And we both were showing each other Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Was yours a graphic novel or just a comic?
Mine's just the current issue.
Oh.
It's the cover, the issue 23 of the current Wonder Woman series, the variant cover by Jenny Frazone.
Excellent. And mine is the year one.
Who is a fantastic artist, in my opinion.
Yes, it's very good. Mine is the Greg Rucka.
Yep. Written by, yes, that's the current.
Trade.
Now, that's the second trade, even though it says year one.
I know.
Because Rucka, for some reason, decided to alternate storylines with every other issue.
I know.
So, yeah.
So weird.
It is so weird.
But anyway, that's what I have.
But hey, he's off the book with issue 24, so, you know.
Exactly.
There'll be a new writer. So.
And here we are again. 105B, where we will be talking about iZombie 308, Arrow 523, Iron Fist 109.
Yes.
And Arrow will be the season finale.
Yes.
So, iZombie 308, eat a Knievel.
So, if you're like under the age of 40 and you need that reference explained to you.
People shouldn't need that explained to them.
Apparently
right?
they do. I think they do.
Really?
It's a reference to
Evil Knievel.
Yeah, former stuntman or like old stuntman called Evil Knievel, who jumped Snake River Canyon back in the day, back in the 70s,
right.
Became like this big pop culture icon.
Huge.
So huge, in fact, that like the stuntman, like Daredevil, essentially, had his own action figure. Which I had because he had this really cool. It was like this bendable action figure, and you could put him on this little wind up or like motorcycle that you could like charge up with a little zip cord, and it would go flying across the street. And it was awesome.
You could buy ramps for it and everything.
Yeah, and jump stuff with it.
Make him go over stuff. Yeah,
it was.
I think I had one too.
Yeah, so
either I had one or a friend of mine had one.
If you were in the 70s, you pretty much probably had this.
Yeah.
If you were of our age.
And he had like a plastic cape.
Yeah.
And the white.
Yeah, but you could take that off.
The white American suit.
Yeah.
It had a flag on the, like a red, white, and blue neck line.
Yeah, he had like a V thing or like a V design, which had stars on it.
Right.
And, this helmet had the V on it.
Yep.
So that was his thing. So yeah, look up Evil Knievel.
Very cool.
So.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. If he is, he's super old.
Yeah.
But he's got a son that does things like that.
Yeah, Robbie Knievel.
Yeah.
Robbie basically took over for his dad as far as the Daredevil thing, stuntman.
Right. Not nearly as popular.
No,
though.
not nearly as popular. But, like he would do Vegas and stuff like that.
Right.
Jumping over trucks and buses and all that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Because that never gets old.
And it doesn't, actually.
No.
And in this case, I know they used it because it fit in Eat a Knievel.
Right.
But I would call it more Jackass than Evel Knievel.
Right.
Right?
I think it was also responsible for the popularity of Ghost Rider.
Was it really?
I think so, because Ghost Rider is essentially like a daredevil stuntman, motorcyclist.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny
Well,
Blaze.
wasn't that his job before he became Ghost Rider?
Yeah, exactly. So,
it was a stuntman.
the original Johnny Blaze,
Right.
Original Ghost Rider.
Right.
So, all right. So, iZombie 308.
Eat a Knievel.
What is this bizarre segue?
We're talking about the episode.
I know. So, what's
I'm
our
not
A,
gonna
B, and
blame
C?
it.
What's our A, B, and C?
Who wrote it?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Written by John Bellina, directed by Michael Whale.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Whale. Wait a minute.
W-A-L-E.
That was Blaine's name on Once Upon a Time.
Well,
Dr. Whale.
Yeah, but that had an H in it.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was a Frankenstein metaphor.
I know.
But that Frankenstein metaphor is going to be all in a different show we're going to talk about later.
That's right, a little bit later.
Yep.
So our A story is Vivian. She's gone.
Which I like that title a lot.
Good. B story is Trojan Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
And our C story is Cheating Jackass.
Right.
Because I think he's more like Jackass.
Yeah,
but...
so you youngins probably appreciate the reference to Jackass a little more, which is what this episode heavily features in its, as a comparison.
Case of the week is like Jackass.
Essentially.
And that actor that plays the guy who dies with the hay on.
Right.
He was in an episode of Lucifer that starred Jeremy, the guy from Lost. Jeremy Davies, thank you.
You're welcome.
And he was the guy who was being stalked by the paparazzi in that episode.
Oh, that's right. That guy.
Yep.
Okay.
So just so you know.
I thought I'd seen him before.
Yeah. I had to look him up because he looked so familiar to me.
Yeah. So
yeah.
This guy's whole deal was like, he was like, filming stunts for YouTube or whatever. And this stunt was going to be like, he's going to wear this big suit covered in hay and jump through a ring of fire and somehow not get completely torched. Well, guess what? He got completely torched.
He did. Because, of course,
flame on.
His suit was not made of flame retardant material, which it was supposed to be.
Who ordered the extra crispy?
We'll find out.
Yes.
Actually, it was the guy who made the suit because Mr. Jackass, had an affair with his wife.
Yes.
They said it was a stunt.
Yeah, they tried to pull it off as a gag, that they were pulling a prank on this guy, Rudy.
PewDiePie.
Rudy, yeah.
But they used a name that was very much like PewDiePie, who is an actual YouTube star.
Right.
And his wife had a baby, and the baby just happened to come out a little darker than intended, which alerted the guy to the fact that, hey, maybe she actually did have an affair with him. And so the guy intended to change the flame retardant stuff with non-flame retardant stuff. So that's how that case ended up. Not a big deal.
So, of course, Liv is on Jackass Brain.
Right.
This week.
And I thought it was cute because she's dating the new guy.
What's his name? Justin, yes.
Yeah, she's dating Justin, and she proposes that instead of being on different brains, like she has been with every other guy she's dated, they eat the same brain. And it's pretty awesome because they're eating this, daring, let's do something fun and exciting brain. Yeah.
Well, they're also on Supermax because Justin smuggled out some Supermax.
Right. And so they go out, they're on the Supermax, and they get some jarts.
Lawn darts, yes.
Right. and they throw them straight up in the air, and then they lay down on the grass, and they come down right on top of them, which I thought was awesome. They hit them in the leg and in the face, even though they had something covering their faces. And then one of them hits Justin right in the chest.
Right in the torso. Yeah, like right below his rib cage.
Right below his sternum.
Yes.
And when Liv pulls it out, he makes a reference to the 40-Year-Old Virgin movie where he says, "Kelly Clarkson," which I laughed out loud when he did that.
Because she climbs on top of him and straddles him as she pulls that out. And then the two start making out.
Right. And it was very cute, I thought. What a cute date.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool that they were on the same brain. However, when they do make out, she has her vision of the cheating video thing. And that's when they question the guy, and it all leads to the end of the case. Now, at the beginning of the episode, they show Vivian pulling Major into her office and talking to him, where she gives him a handshake, talks to him about, hey, you were a good soldier, you're doing good here, you could really go far, gives him a handshake, and then wraps her other hand around his wrist and says, "Is that a human pulse I feel, or are you happy to see me?" And he admits
so she had to already suspect, I think.
Right. She had to, yeah. And he says, "Yeah, I'm human. I don't have any other place to go. But yeah, you caught me." He coughs to it right away. And she says, "Okay, we'll discuss this later, but I need to know how this happened." And before that can be resolved, she goes up in a helicopter.
Well, we find out that Major's benched.
Right. Yeah, he can't go out and fight.
Yeah.
And she wants to talk about it later. But she goes up in the helicopter, and boom, helicopter go crashy crash. Right.
Yeah.
So
she blowed up. She blowed up real good.
Where do I have that on here? I think I do.
I hope so.
I don't actually. Sorry.
You don't have our blowed up real good?
I'm sorry.
She blowed up real good.
She blowed up real good. How's that?
That's good, but not the same.
I know. I'll put it back on.
Okay.
I have a limited amount of space on this soundboard.
That's fair enough. Okay.
It's the stupid soundboard.
It's okay.
I want my other tablet back, guys. I know. I want my Samsung back.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she is gone, I guess. At least for now.
Yeah, well, maybe she turns up alive, or
maybe she can get on board. Right, we never saw her board.
We never saw a body.
That's right.
So
who knows?
Standard comic book rules apply. If you don't see a body, and even then, they're probably not dead.
Right. Exactly right. So who knows?
Yeah.
But it looks like
because
for
she's
now,
probably going to be the big bad of the season, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
it looks like for now that she blowed up real good.
Yeah.
And then there's some issues that happen with the soldiers where the guy who has decided to become the alpha soldier finds out that some Max Rager's missing. And of course it's Justin that took it, and he shoots Justin.
Right in front of Major, who is just like, "Oh, I hope that doesn't happen to me because that could be really awkward."
Right. It would be really awkward.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there's always the chance that will happen. I am predicting right now that something bad will happen to him, and Justin or Liv
will make him a zombie again.
Make him a zombie again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
So there's that. Now, that's the whole Vivian storyline. And we have the Jackass story. Now, Blaine.
Yes.
Blaine has come back.
Is this episode like how Blaine got his groove back?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. His dad had him killed,
Yep.
but he's back.
He got better.
He got better. Yes. There's a big box that gets rolled into his dad's office. His dad has taken over the business.
What's in the box? What's in the
Right.
box?
What's in the box? Donnie has become his dad's second in command.
And not too happy about it.
No.
Because Don E keeps getting shut out of business dealings.
Exactly.
He's all grumbly in the corner about it.
Right. So they open up the box. Blaine pops out and kills everybody.
Surprise!
Except his dad. And he ends up locking his dad, or dumping his dad down a well.
Yes.
Which is awesome. Right? Because how terrible is that?
Yeah. Well,
For a zombie.
for a zombie, yeah, because you're basically like, you can't get out.
You can't kill yourself.
You can't die.
Right.
So you're just kind of down there. Now, keep in mind that if he doesn't get his brains, doesn't he become feral?
Yeah.
So, yep.
Bad news for him.
Yeah, he'll go full-on zombie mode.
Right. It'll be bad.
Yeah.
He'll just go insane down there, essentially. But he'll stay alive.
Unless somebody drags him out. But who
That's
knows?
true.
Yeah.
But it won't be Donnie.
Right.
Because Donnie wasn't happy. And Blaine says, hey, I'll let you run the club. The club's your thing. And he starts to get into it. And Donnie goes, hey, you had me at money. Which I thought was funny. And, Donnie's in it for himself. He doesn't care, even though he bought him out in the last episode. He realized
but how long before Donnie tries to backstab Blaine?
Right. But I think he realized that the grass was greener
Blaine
Blaine
has to know this.
Of course. Blaine's already set up.
He's got to take care of Donnie at some point.
Right.
Right?
He's ready with that. He's going to double cross Donnie.
Has to.
Right. Because he knows. Is there anything I'm missing now?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Ravi and Liv.
Oh, Ravi and Liv go to the club with the anti-zombiers.
The zombie truthers.
Right. They are taking blood pressure on the way in, though.
And we get to see Liv in human makeup.
And she looks great.
Which is really just her out of makeup.
Okay, and can I say how great the scene was where they're discussing going to the club, and she says, maybe I'll be British. And then Ravi says, maybe I'll be American. Now, she has a British accent in real life.
Right.
But she does a horrible impression.
Well, she's from New Zealand. So
yeah,
not a British accent. She has a New Zealand accent.
She has an accent, but whatever accent she does is just the worst.
It is.
And then Ravi does...
It's like Dick Van Dyke in, Mary Poppins.
Right. And Ravi does the worst American accent ever.
Sure do.
Right. And they decide just to do their regular voices, obviously. But she, does a wig and makeup and stuff in order to look like humans.
Right.
To go there. And they're taking blood pressure, so she realizes she will not be able to pass that test. And Ravi covers and says, hey, we just got a call from our babysitter. One of us is going to have to go back. And she reluctantly says, okay, I'll go back. But please fill me in on everything, very pointedly. So, fill me in on everything that happens. And Ravi goes in. And we don't see what happens.
That's our big cliffhanger. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
No problem.
And those are the truthers that took the film of Justin in the last episode. So I'm guessing that Ravi will see that film, but that means Liv won't see it. Liv won't see the film of Justin.
Right.
Right.
And we got to figure out how does Ravi get out of that situation.
Right. So. Oh. Were you asking me to do that?
Well, I did. I said.
There you go. Better?
Yes.
I know you went da da da. I didn't think it was
I have to wait
worth
for it to finish.
You do?
Yeah. It can't pause. I can't pause it. So. Shut up, you.
I'll just sit here and watch you. Okay.
There you go.
So now that's it. So what do you give this episode? We are dead on this one.
Yeah, we are. 8 falling lawn darts because, hey, kids, lawn darts are always fun, which is why they made them illegal.
I know. They actually were fun. I had some when I was growing up. And
Well,
then
everybody had again, like with the Evel Knievel toys back in the 70s, everybody had lawn darts until people started dying from them.
Yeah. But we weren't stupid enough to throw them at each other.
No, but some people were.
I know. We threw them
because kids could go, play with this stuff, and the parents didn't care. So
some kids are stupid.
Some kids are very stupid. And that's almost like a Darwinism award right there.
Right. I threw them away from me because I knew better.
Yeah.
And I give it 8 stolen cans of Max Rager. So I liked it very much. I thought it was a lot of stuff that the threads are kind of coming together.
Yep. Solid episode of iZombie.
What are we, a little more than halfway through now? This season?
Yeah. Well, it's episode 8 and there's 13 episodes. So, yeah, we only have 5 more to go.
A little more than halfway then.
Yep.
So, yeah. The threads are starting to come together, it feels like.
As they should be.
About the right time. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so Arrow 523, Lian Yu, which is the season finale.
Yes. So, here we are. Hopefully, maybe the final flashbacks.
I don't think so. I think there will be flashbacks.
I can dream, can't I?
I know. They love their flashbacks.
Let me pretend for a little while.
No.
No.
We'll see.
No.
They might ditch them altogether. Who knows?
All right. So what's our A, B, and C now that you've depressed me?
Who wrote it?
Oh, yeah. Fine. Okay, written by showrunners Wendy Miracle and Mark Guggenheim. Shakes fist. Directed by Jesse Warren.
Well, the good thing is there wasn't a whole lot of flashbacking in this episode. And what there was, it tied right in to the episode.
Yeah.
Since they were on Lian Yu.
Yeah. So basically, these are the final moments leading up to Oliver getting rescued back in episode 1 of season 1 of Arrow.
Tied right back in.
Yep.
And we also got Dolph Lundgren.
So, like, maybe Oliver was on the Lian Yu for all of 5 minutes. In those 5 years, he was supposed to be on the island.
He was there for 2 years.
Okay, 2 years as opposed to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
The full 2 first years he was there.
Okay.
Right?
But he wasn't alone.
And then he wasn't. And then he came back for another year. And then he went back to Russia.
Again, he still wasn't alone.
I know. He was never alone.
Never alone.
Nope.
So all those like, oh, I'm traumatized by my isolation and laying on the...
I know.
By the window and all curled up and means nothing because, hey, we totally retconned it.
I know. I know. But that has nothing to do with this episode. So...
Yeah.
A story, righting past wrongs, and that refers to both Malcolm and Slade.
Yeah.
B story, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
C story, Lian Yu's dead, as in who's dead, but Yu's dead. So yeah, there's that. So righting past wrongs, we knew that Oliver...
Yes.
Was gonna maybe get Slade out of the prison in order to help him because he has nobody to call except for maybe he could have called Argus, but hey, whatever.
Or Barry, or
tons of other people.
Yeah.
Right. But he does pick Slade, and
so I'm going to release this evil criminal from his prison because I can't bother anybody else right now.
Right. And not just Slade, but Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
And he gets them both out. Slade, who is actually lucid and normal.
Yeah, he says Mirakuru has worn off.
Right.
So I'm not crazy anymore. And sorry about your mom.
Right.
Sorry I killed your mom.
To be fair, he was a Mirakuru during all that time. And he's not anymore.
Or is he? ... question mark.
He looks fine. He didn't do anything in this episode. He was a decent person in this episode. He was the Slade that we saw as Oliver's friend in the first season.
Right.
So he gets Slade out. He gets Captain Boomerang out. Captain Boomerang's all bitchy that he doesn't have a weapon. And
shouldn't you have some boomerangs? You're like Captain Boomerang.
Right.
And so he's like using guns, which made no sense.
Well, he wanted a gun.
He wanted a gun, but he didn't use any boomerangs, did he?
He did later on.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
I must have missed that part.
He did later on.
Okay. Never mind.
They're walking and they find most of their friends in cages.
Right.
Alone. Quote unquote.
So obviously it's a trap.
Right.
It's
not
it's
only
a trap.
Does what's her name come down from the trees.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, you mean Talia?
No.
Oh, you mean Evelyn?
Evelyn?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yes. Yes.
Her and Talia come down and curse your sudden but an inevitable betrayal, Captain Boomerang, who just happens to have a bright, shiny gun.
Or you could call her Artemis, I guess.
Artemis, thank you. Her.
But her real name's Evelyn. Yeah.
So it is a trap.
It's a trap.
And Captain Boomerang says, hey, Slade, you could be on the right side or you could be on the wrong side. And it looks like Slade's going to change sides. But right at the last minute, he
disarms
comes
Digger.
back. Right.
Yeah.
He comes back to Oliver's side and he manages to help them overcome. And
he's like, dude, I was totally faking.
Right. And not Nissa. What is her name again?
Talia. Yeah.
Talia does like smoke bomb.
Yeah, Talia does in fact do the smoke bomb.
Right.
Smoke bomb.
Right. And she and Digger Harkness get away.
Yep.
They lock Artemis in the cage and she's all taunting about it, but who cares? Because
nobody cares about Artemis, so
no,
whatever.
They leave her there. And she's totally wrong because no one cares about her.
Yeah.
They're not going to come back for her.
Exactly. Nobody does.
No. She's a tool to use. That's it. So they walk off in the forest and Oliver says, okay, you guys, you have to go.
Yeah, there's like
of course,
a bunch of guys. He sends Curtis, Thea, and Felicity to go find the plane they came in.
Right. With Malcolm.
Right.
I forgot to say Malcolm's there too.
Yeah. And then of course Felicity.
No one wants to go with Malcolm.
Right.
But they have to. And Thea is whiny. I don't want to go with Malcolm. I don't want to go with Slade. Slade made us orphans. Slade and Malcolm were the worst.
Thea, this is bad.
No.
You need to go. You need to go.
I was born in the darkness.
I was born in the darkness. Now you must go.
I don't want to go.
Stop your whining already. It's getting annoying.
I don't want to go.
Why
are you going to make me go? I want to stay and help you.
Yeah, it's working on my last nerve already.
There you go, Philip.
Bitch, please.
Bitch, please. That was awesome. Bitch, please.
I think your reaction made me laugh more than anything. That was
Bane,
great.
you're the worst. I don't like you. Why do you wear a mask? I can't hear you.
Well, unfortunately, my mask was not big enough to include earmuffs so that I can't hear you.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Maybe you should try stop talking for 5 seconds.
I don't like my dad, and I don't like this other guy because he killed my mom, and I don't know why Oliver's trusting them. But I guess I'm going to go.
Well, Oliver is a man of the people.
You're a man of the people, and I was born in the darkness. Okay, so anyway, we're done.
You like that?
We're done, yes. Thank you.
I could do that all day. And scene.
And see.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So they decide they're going to go anyway.
Good luck focusing after that.
Yeah. They trudge through the forest and
Trudge.
As we know, here's plot device number 1. Land.
Yep. Awkward landmine.
Right. Which almost everybody on the show has
And
stepped on a
of course, Thea is the one who steps on a landmine.
Landmine.
Why did you step on the landmine? Are you really that dumb?
Right. So she steps on a landmine, and Malcolm decides he's going to sacrifice himself instead. He's going to be her father for once. And so he pushes her off like Raiders of the Lost Ark with the statue.
Now, here's the thing that I was wondering initially, is that we didn't see Malcolm blowed up real good.
Yeah, but the actor...
Yeah, John Barrowman, yeah, he just recently said, well, I'm done with Arrow.
Right.
Unless he's lying, but...
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either, so...
I think we've seen...
apparently we've seen the last of Malcolm.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless there's flashbacks, but I don't think that's going to happen.
So, Barrowman, now's the time to do more Torchwood.
That's right. Or Doctor Who.
Right.
Or go on to something else.
Doctor Who.
Okay.
He needs to come back. It's been too long. He needs to come back.
I would rather see him on Doctor Who, to be honest, because that last Torchwood was terrible.
That was the Stars version. Yeah, that was
Wasn't.
But the one before it was really good. Children of Earth, which had Peter Capaldi in it.
Yeah, it was good.
That was good. All right.
Okay, so anyway, he decides he's going to take her place, pushes her off, and jumps on right at the same time, which luckily worked.
Yep.
And he pushes everyone away just as Digger Harkness shows up and some soldiers. And this is where I know he had boomerangs, because when he shows up, a boomerang goes into the tree.
Okay. All right.
And that's how he announces his arrival. And so everybody else skedaddles, and Boomerang kind of taunts Malcolm at this point and says, "What are you doing standing out here in the open? This is the dumbest thing ever." And Malcolm says, "Well, let me show you." And they go back to everyone walking through the forest, and then you hear kaboom.
Yep.
And Thea realizes that Malcolm is finally dead. And
there was much rejoicing. Hooray!
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that also means the Digger was dead, and all those soldiers.
And now Thea can become the Dark Archer.
There you go. See?
She'll take over for Malcolm.
She actually could at this point if she wanted to, but she won't.
Thea, come to the darkness.
I can't.
But it's the darkness. You love.
I like the red outfit. I look better in red.
But black is more slimming.
No, I like red.
You look good for the people.
You were born in the darkness. Okay, so anyway, they're off. Slade remembers a plane. They go find the plane, and whoops, Adrian has made it so the plane won't start.
Don't.
And they also find out that Adrian has a dead man switch. So when he goads Oliver into killing him, the dead man switch will go off and the whole island will blow up. And they alert Oliver to this fact over the comm.
Yeah, apparently Prometheus has been really thought this out.
He certainly has.
He's covered every contingency on this one.
Right. And he is fighting Oliver, goading him into killing him because he wants the whole island to blow up. He knows he's not going to make it off the island.
Right.
So he wants everyone to die. He has everyone there. He wants everyone to go up with him.
Well, apparently it turns out what Adrian's real plan is I want you to kill me in front of your son, William.
Right.
That's his plan. Finally revealed.
Right. And also, when you kill me, the island will blow up, which means his mother will be dead.
Yeah.
And everyone you love will be dead.
Yes.
Because I have a dead man switch and all this other stuff. So he knows about that, and he has to make this decision there's a little boat. First of all, he tells Oliver, your son's already dead. And he tries to goad him into killing himself. Kill me.
Yes.
And show your true self. And he says, you know what? If my son is dead, I will never be what you want me to be.
I'll never join you.
Right. Never.
Never, ever, never, ever, never.
But he ends up following him to this little boat that's off the shore where he has William. He brings him out and he's got him by the neck. And he says, I'm going to kill your son. So if you
don't kill me, your son dies.
Right. If you save everyone on the island, then your son dies. And if you kill me, then everyone on the island dies. And so he lowers his bow and arrow and he shoots Adrian in the leg. And all looks well, except for the fact that Adrian has a gun and he shoots himself in the head.
Don't.
And kablooey goes the island.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
I kind of did.
Yeah, I did too. To be fair.
So there's that.
Yeah. But Oliver didn't.
Right.
All he had to do was shoot the gun out of his hand.
I know.
But why didn't he? I mean, he's only the world's greatest archer, right?
Right. He's not, though.
Phrasing?
That's the world's greatest archer right there.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well played.
So yeah, at the end of the episode, the island has blown up with everyone on it.
Now, who survives? We'll find out. Tune in next time in season 6 of Arrow.
That's great. And that's why I wrote Lian Yu's dead.
Yep.
Because we don't know, except for Malcolm and Digger, who we know are dead, apparently.
And probably William's mom.
Probably.
Samantha, because she was dumb enough to stay on the island.
Right. Well, everyone was on the island.
I know, but still, she chose to stay behind.
Right. And the fake Adrian is dead.
So this will mean that Oliver now has a kid he has to take care of.
Right.
Which he'll dump up on Felicity next season. Yeah.
But this will be... Doesn't Oliver have a son in the comic books?
Well, yeah, that was...
Connor Hawke?
Connor Hawke, but they've kind of established that Diggle's son becomes Connor Hawke.
Right. Well, Flashpoint.
Yeah. Well, they already Flashpointed because Flashpoint, originally Diggle and Lila had a daughter.
I know.
That became a son, but because the son becomes Connor Hawke.
Connor Hawke.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the future.
We'll see what goes on, though, with the William and all that stuff.
Right.
All right. And also Felicity and Mom, William's mom, have a talk on the island, and they work out some stuff, but whatever.
Yep.
Who cares? And Felicity shares a kiss with Oliver and says they want to try and work things out when they get back.
No.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay, is that everything?
Well, just we had flashbacks where Oliver kills Dolph Lundgren.
Right, Kovar.
Yep, and
it shows that his bones are on the island now.
So he hurries up and puts on that ratty wig and flags down the boat and jumps on the boat and calls his mom.
Right.
Says, "I'm not dead."
Right.
So I could have called
After
you
his-
years ago, but hey.
Right. He did call her years ago.
Yeah.
He just hung up.
Yeah, but he could have said,
Right.
I'm
I know.
I'm not dead.
Well, did yet.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, I've tortured you for all these years for no reason.
Now, as disparaging as I sound about this episode, I actually really liked it. I thought it was a good episode. I thought the flashbacks tied into it. I liked the fact that Slade was back. I wouldn't mind if he came back for realsies.
Yeah.
To be honest, I like the character. I think he's a good foil for Oliver.
But he's much better as a villain for Oliver.
I agree.
So he's got to go evil again.
Well, when the island blows up, he could be...
Maybe. Oh, that's a good thought.
See?
Yeah.
He could be blaming Oliver for if he gets hurt or whatever.
Or maybe it just scrambles his brains up a little bit.
Well, yeah, whichever. Doesn't matter to me. And I liked the whole Malcolm sacrificing himself. I thought that was a good scene. How
Malcolm in the middle.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like that. How he took out Digger. I thought it was a pretty funny way to take out Digger. So I gave it 8 confusing double crosses.
Yep. I like this one a lot too. I gave it 8.5 awkward landmines because Thea.
Right. Watch where you're walking.
Yeah, pretty much. You've been on the island before. You should know the rules.
It scruffed up my shoe. I was wearing Louboutins.
Thea, I'm pretty sure you could get another pair of shoes.
But they're Louboutins. Okay.
Seriously. Get over yourself.
Were you born in the darkness or what?
I was born in the darkness, but just go eat a Snickers or something.
And scene number 2. All right, so let's move on to Iron Fist 109.
I'm sure Phil's just like, no, keep going.
I know. It's only funny to like 10 people, probably.
Probably, yeah.
But we're making each other laugh.
If you're one of those 10 people, cheers.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
exactly.
You and I are laughing more than anyone, though, I think, because we get to see each other, and you're actually doing the Bane mask, which I love.
Well, I have to do the echo effect, so yeah,
right.
The mask effect. So,
right.
Is it working? Does it sound okay?
Yes, sounds great.
Right, great.
I love it. Come out of the darkness, Batman. Okay, Iron Fist 109, the mistress of all agonies.
Of the people. All I have to do is just say other people, and then you start laughing.
It's true, though.
All right, Iron Fist 109, the mistress of all agonies.
Correct.
I love these titles.
I know, they're fun.
They're the mistress of all agonies. Written by Pat Charles, no relation. Directed by Jet Wilkinson.
Your first thing.
It's
no relation.
That was the gag, okay?
Okay, I see.
I know that.
That made me laugh. All right. Okay, Pat Charles and directed by who?
Jet Wilkinson. It's like the cousin of Eagle Eagleson. Jet Wilkinson.
Nice. And who's the other guy?
Suffragette. Jet. Woo, woo, woo. Little Paul McCartney in Wings.
Oh, now I'm goofy.
Yep.
Okay, so A story is the Iron Hand and the New Hand.
Right.
Which people might not know. I think we might be spoiling something there, but...
Spoilers.
It's all right. We'll talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
B story, Go to Hell.
I like that title a lot, too.
Because that's pretty much what she said to them.
Pretty much.
And C story, Fire Bad.
Fire bad, tree pretty.
Yeah. And then this, of course, Harold.
Yes. Harold's back in black. Back in black.
He's a watery bint rising.
Because some moistened bint threw a soul at me.
Rising from the waters. He
Some watery
apparently
tots threw a sword at me.
can apparently come back from the dead, and he does.
Yep.
Coughing up whatever was in the lake.
We should call him Swamp Thing.
See, now that would have been cool. I should have thought of that.
That's all right.
I really.
Swamp Thing.
It kind of did look like
The
him.
saga of the Swamp Thing.
Right. And it was funny to see him slowly regain his memories, because he just walks up to those girls and he's like, "You have a son? I have a son."
Yeah, we should probably just go in and talk about this, because
Yeah.
he's like wondering. He gets out of the swamp where Ward had dumped his body in the previous episode,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of like he shambles his way back to New York,
Right.
and he's walking through the burrows. There's like some kids playing with a fire hydrant. It's a hot summer day or whatever, and so he like starts walking in all like disoriented and monster like.
Mm-hmm. Fire bad.
And walks right into the water. He's kind of lapping it up like a dog.
Right.
And
Why is he thirsty, though,
Well,
after being in the water?
maybe resurrecting from the dead gives you a dry throat. I don't know.
Okay.
I need to quench my thirst. Well, he did have all that gunk in his throat.
He did, yes.
Which he later coughs up. He
he
coughs up a
hadn't
bunch
coughed
of
up.
like mud and sludge
Yeah.
from the swamp.
That was gross.
Which was, yeah. And because he like goes to like a pretzel vendor, hot dog pretzel vendor, and it's like,
Oh, it
ooh,
smells good.
yeah.
Yeah. And he sticks his hand into the hot dog water.
Yep. The
I
boiling,
bet you
boiling hot dog.
1,000% that guy sold those hot dogs afterwards.
I'm sure he did.
Yep.
Well, he's not going to get rid of that inventory.
Sure he is, as long as someone pays for it.
No, I know. I mean, he wasn't going to dump it and throw it
Dump
out.
it. Right.
That's what I meant.
Right. And as soon as he pulls his hand out after it burns,
Yep.
he throws up all the gunk.
And to be fair, it was sterilized. It was in boiling water. Just saying.
Still.
Yeah.
Would you want a hot dog out of that water?
I'm sure there's been worse.
Don't even go there.
By the way, should I mention that I'm eating hot dogs tomorrow at my parents'?
Yeah, but you know where
For
they
Memorial Day? Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
We eat hot dogs from a guy that's down the street.
Yeah.
But we can see him cooking them, and they're on a grill thing.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Yeah, he's really good. They're Chicago hot dogs.
Oh, look at you.
They're so good. Anyway.
Yes.
What is this bizarre segue that's happening right now?
Yeah.
But it's hot dogs, man. Just talking about hot dogs.
I know. I did that for me.
Now I want a hot dog.
And I know. I have bread waiting for me, though.
That's true. You were enjoying the sourdough bread.
I know. I'm going to have like 5 more pieces when I'm done here. I love bread.
I hope everybody appreciates all these non sequiturs that we're throwing out.
Well, when we got back from our little break between the 2 episodes, I had like 2 pieces of bread, and so Charles watched me eat 2 pieces of bread.
I had
which
no bread, and I had to
I'm
watch.
sure was riveting for Charles.
I had to watch Karen going.
It was not riveting.
This is so good.
I'm sure.
Meanwhile, Charles's stomach is going.
I'm sorry, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
I have no bread.
I could throw bread at the camera.
That doesn't do me any good.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I could send you a loaf.
Okay.
Do you want a loaf?
No, I'm good. I'll figure
All
it out.
right.
I'm good.
So anyway, he sticks his hand in the hot dog water. Then he moves on. He finds the Rand building and he says, "Rand, I am Rand."
Anne
No.
Rand? Anne Rand? What?
I know. That's the first thing I thought of, to be honest, when he said, "I am Rand."
Right.
But of course he's not. He says, "No, I am Mitchum. Why isn't my name not on there?" First thing he thinks
Meacham,
is Meachum. The first thing he thinks is that he got slighted because his name isn't on the building.
Why I not have top billing? Come on.
Right.
Come on, man.
Why I not have any billing? Because it's Rand Industries. Why is it Rand Industries? Why didn't they both have their names on it? Weren't they partners?
Well, yeah, but remember, everybody thinks that Harold is dead.
Everybody thinks that Rand is dead.
Yeah, but he was the founder.
Okay.
So it's kind of like,
But the Meachums are running it now.
right.
No Rand has a hand in it anymore.
Yeah,
I get it.
but it's for name recognition.
Yeah, they're just keeping it. So he gets all uppity about it, but this at least leads him to who he is.
Because Rand sounds cooler than Meachum.
That's true. He ends up remembering what's his name, Kyle.
Right, his assistant Kyle. Yes.
Right.
So which leads to a very funny moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, where he asks Kyle if he could live forever, what would he do? And Kyle says, "Oh, I don't know."
I would eat all the ice cream I could.
I would eat ice cream for breakfast.
And lunch.
He says, "What?" Oh, yeah, and lunch. And then he says, "Unbelievable."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Thanks."
He's
like,
"I know,
it
right?"
It wasn't a compliment.
Yeah. And then later, Harold lays out a whole bunch of ice cream options for
Kyle.
For Kyle, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle's just like, well, I'm in the mood for vanilla. I like vanilla.
Is there any vanilla?
And Harold just kind of like looks up and is like,
I got all
these flavors, and you want vanilla.
And he gets enraged and he spoons Kyle, and not in the good way.
Yeah, he gets out the old ice cream scooper and beats Kyle to death with it.
Right. Well, Kyle's talking to him and he says, "I'll eat any other kind. I'll eat the ice cream." And he says, "Won't you die already?" And then he lands the final blow in the back of his head. And then, for some reason, he immediately turns back into the mild-mannered Harold, and he collapses, and then he says, "What have I done?"
Yeah, he kind of like lays on the floor next to Kyle going, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Right.
Yeah.
Now, earlier in the episode, he runs, his son shows up, Ward, and says, "What are you doing alive?"
Yeah, because Ward, obviously, keep in mind that Ward's probably high anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad, who he killed the previous episode, shows up alive, fresh as a daisy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ward is just like, what?
Right. Exactly. And they have a talk, and Harold is, I guess there's a part of him that is sad about how he treated his kids.
Right. He actually hugs Ward, tells him he loves him, and Ward is just like, who is this guy? Because you're not my dad.
Right. And he wants no part of this. He says, "No, I just want you to go away. Stay out of my life.
I am so tripping balls at this."
Right. And so he wants his dad out of his life, but by the time he gets downstairs, there are police at his car.
Right.
And
well, this is before we should mention though, Ward wants out. He's like, he makes this deal with Harold. He says, "Look, you want to help me do things? Let me go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I just want to
go
away.
I don't want your life.
I don't want you harassing me. Don't find me. Just leave me alone."
Right.
And then Harold turns it around on him and says, "Okay, you can go, but I guess I'll just have to bring your sister in because you're not going to help me."
Right.
So
I got to have some sort of a connection.
Yep. And Ward is like, you leave her alone, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, and then
he goes down to the street.
Yeah.
And there's police at his car. And I think he left the coke out on the seat, or heroin. Right?
You mean Harold?
No, I think Ward did.
You think Ward did because he was so stoned?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
He's been doing the heroin.
I agree, yeah.
Why would his dad need to do anything?
But he thinks his dad set him up.
Right.
Yes, I agree.
And this leads to him going into a psych ward and telling the doctor that his dad's still alive. And of course, they think he's nuts.
Now, keep in mind, this is the same facility that held Danny captive in episode 2.
Right.
So here it is being flipped back around on Ward, because remember, Ward was the one who had Danny committed.
Right.
So now Ward's being held for a psychic evaluation, which could take forever. And then Ward is talking to the doctor, Dr. Edmonds, and saying, well, look, I can't win here. Because if I talk to you about how my dad, who isn't dead, is trying to set me up, you will have me committed.
Right.
And if I say nothing, you'll have me committed.
Right.
So I'm screwed either way.
Karma.
Yep, pretty much.
Which I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Because Ward deserves every single thing he gets
Pretty
at this
much.
point.
Pretty
He's
much.
been embezzling from the company. He's been shady dealing. He's been taking these drugs. He's been setting up people. I mean, he's a horrible person.
He was going to throw his sister under the bus so he could get his money and get out of there.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So then a little later, Harold gets Joy to come to the building. Joy, right?
Yes, Joy.
Yeah. Gets Joy to come to the building. He opens up the elevator and Joy hesitantly walks into the penthouse and sees her father, and they have a bit of a reunion.
Surprise, I'm not dead.
Right. She has no idea how to take this.
And she's all, what?
But crying and hugging and just, she is at a loss at this point. Is that where we end up with Harold's story?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. Then we have the story where Colleen and Claire and Danny have come back from China.
With Gao.
And they have her captive in the dojo.
Right.
And Colleen apparently was poisoned by her doppelganger in China.
Yep.
And Gao is
But she's hiding
taunting them. Right. But Gao is taunting them over other things. They're trying to get information out of her. And she is literally saying, just go to hell. I've been tortured for centuries. You can't get anything out of me. And
which should make everybody pause for a minute. About centuries? What?
yeah, but they don't.
They just totally,
which is weird.
They don't even.
They blow by it.
Yeah, just like, you might want to pay attention to something like that.
Right.
Unless they figure she's crazy.
Well, they might.
Yeah. So Claire suggests they get like a truth serum.
Right.
Sodium
pentothal or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they shoot her with it, and she says, if I shoot too little of it, she won't do anything. If I shoot too much, then she'll go to sleep. So I gotta really, do this right. And at this point, Colleen is kind of slowly dying.
Yeah.
On the floor, and she says to call Sensei in her phone.
Yeah, this guy named Bakuto.
And this is the guy who she's been conspiring with behind the scenes.
Which is why she knows about the Iron Fist.
Right, about Danny. And they do finally call Bakuto, and they talk to Madame Gao, and they don't get much out of her. They get a little bit, and then she turns it back around on them, and she has been pretending.
I was totally faking.
Right. She wakes right back up. I've been tortured so many times.
And you guys fell for it like the jerks you are.
Right. And the lights go out, and all these guys drop in from the ceiling, and they end up beating them back.
But they're military guys.
Right. They're her, what do they call them? Her mercenaries.
Yep.
She has mercenaries that protect her. And right after that happens, Bakuto shows up at the door. And this is when Madame Gao starts to look a little worried.
Yes. She's like, oh, you don't need to listen to this guy.
Don't listen to him. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Look at what's in this hand.
Yeah.
Look over here. Skylab. See?
Yeah.
It's falling. Look.
because you're so trustworthy.
Right. She's trying really hard to distract them from this guy. And Bakuto comes in and talks to Danny and realizes that Danny hasn't been taught everything about being the Iron Fist. And tells him, hey, you can channel everything into your fist, right? And he says, yep. Okay, now open your hand. And he opens his hand, and it's still a glowy yellow. And
apparently Danny has not ever thought of this.
Right. So stupid,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
And one of the things you and I have talked about is, why doesn't he just use his Iron Fist all the time?
Right.
And apparently it's just because it's very difficult for him to use.
Well, apparently it's like it's got a short battery life.
Right.
And
so he just only uses it as a finish him.
Yeah. So here he uses it to heal Colleen burns the poison out of her.
Right. But after that, he is sapped.
Yeah, he's drained out.
Right.
So this is why he's not using the Iron Fist more often.
Right. And as soon as that is done, Bakudo and Colleen scoop up Danny. They take Madame Gao out to a van. They trundle everybody in, and Claire is left going, hey, what's going on? Where are you guys going? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just stay here, be cool. We got this.
These are the droids you're looking for. Yeah. And off they go.
And Claire's like, what?
Right. And through the whole episode, this other guy has been trailing Danny.
Yeah.
And he watches them drive off in the van. A thuggy looking guy.
Well, this guy, he's been like throwing around these foil shurikens that he's folded up.
So dumb. There's no way you could make those out of tin foil.
Yeah,
right?
I know. It'd have to be like a really harder steel.
Yeah.
To be able to puncture steel.
Or he'd have to be magic. And he's not.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
So he goes into this food truck and he pulls out those one sheet.
Yeah.
Tinfoil things.
Right.
And he makes throwing stars that magically embed into metal.
Yeah. I can fold those throwing stars, by the way.
Sure.
I learned that in high school.
Yeah, but they don't embed into metal.
No, they don't.
No, they.
No matter how well. No, I understand that. Like, okay, if you throw something really fast enough, like a straw in a hurricane, but.
Yeah, but he's not throwing them that fast.
No, he's not
at all.
No, he's
not. The corner would bend.
There is no way that a little tinfoil throwing star is going to pierce steel.
No,
no way.
No way.
No way.
So it's a little unbelievable.
But yeah,
hey, whatever. Yeah, it's Iron Fist. It's
but here's the deal
show.
with the guy. He's very important.
He is.
Yes, he is.
So keep it in mind.
Yes.
He's following. Now, Bakudo is also very important.
Uh-huh.
He is not what he seems either. And that is why I said the Iron Hand and the New Hand.
Yeah.
Because he is a minor character in the comic books. But he is important to the Hand in the comic books, right?
So do we not want to spoil that just yet?
I'm giving a hint.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that, right?
Yeah. Well, let's just say that the guy with the mystery tinfoil shuriken thrower has a connection to these drugs.
Right.
In reference to a very specific symbol.
Right.
That is on the packets of these drugs.
Right.
That Ward is taking.
Right.
Okay. I'll just leave it there.
We'll just say there.
We'll just leave it right there.
That's it.
So
that's it. And they all have a connection to Daredevil.
Yes, they do.
As
we'll see in the Defenders.
Right. And a job that Daredevil takes later on.
Yeah, because we only have 4 episodes of Iron Fist left.
That's right. And then the Defenders come in a few months.
Yep.
August? September? August. That's awesome. That's only a couple months from now.
Yeah. That's going to be tricky for me.
I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
It was a great episode, I thought.
Yeah, it was good.
Lots of stuff happening.
Yeah, lots.
And I loved Madame Gao in this episode.
Yeah.
She just was... that actress really brings it.
Wai Ching Ho, I think is her name.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah, she is. And I loved how she just completely... The actress can turn from smug and condescending to, hey, I'm a little worried by this guy.
I like Claire's comment about her, where it's like, she says, look, we couldn't get you to talk, and now you won't shut up.
Right. She's great.
Yeah.
I love her. Okay, so what did you give this episode?
I give it a solid 8 ice cream scoopers of death.
Very nice. And yeah. He not happy with Kyle liking vanilla. My husband gets vanilla shakes all the time, and I think it's just, come on, it's the dumbest thing.
I love vanilla. I love vanilla. It's great. It's so underrated. Everybody's just like, oh, it's vanilla. It's so simple. But there's an elegance to it.
I see.
If it's really good vanilla, like if it's like, vanilla bean.
What is the point?
What's the point of chocolate?
Because it's chocolate, dude.
Well, say vanilla. Just like if you like chocolate.
Super good vanilla, and it has a nice, rich taste to it.
Yeah, it complements like certain foods. Like I know that if I eat a burger and fries, like a vanilla milkshake goes really well with it. All
right. Why don't you just drink milk?
Because it doesn't have the sugar.
Okay. You want the sugar rush.
And it doesn't have the vanilla taste.
Okay. I'll give you that. I don't like milk.
Vanilla has a flavor. That's why they have vanilla flavoring.
Yeah, that's true. It heck flavor. Okay, I gave it 8.5 foil shurikens.
Yeah.
Because they were cool, even though they wouldn't do that in real life.
Right.
All right, so that's it for this week, but we do have feedback from Justina.
Back from her move, apparently.
That's right. Well, I'm sure she's still unpacking, but she did have time to record us some feedback.
But she's at least moved in, I'm sure.
Yes, she is, and the house is very nice. Ooh. I've seen pictures of it. I sent her a little video of my cats cuddling up next to me on the bed last night because she wanted video of that. She sent me like 1 million emojis back.
I'm sure she did. Justina loves her emojis.
I do too. I love her emojis.
Okay.
All right. So here's her feedback.
Hi, Karen and Charles. I was really pleased with the Berlanti-verse finales. Even though they all did sort of have sad endings, I was happy that I didn't predict any of the endings before they happened. And the common theme is definitely separation. Kara is separated from Monel. Barry is separated from Iris. Oliver is separated from Felicity and everyone else. And Barry, for that matter, too. Going to take a rest in the Speed Force. I know you've talked about that before, about how in the comic books, Wally takes over in Central City because Barry is gone. Is the situation at all similar, or is the circumstances they use in the comic books completely different? I wonder how the TV show is going to handle it. I kind of hope we get to see Barry inside the Speed Force, and get to see the team dynamic of Team Flash without Barry on it. I think that's a good way to keep Flash fresh and new and exciting for a new season, but I definitely hope they don't drag it out. I don't want to see Barry in the Speed Force for an entire season or anything, but a few episodes could be pretty cool. Oh, and I have a question about Savitar, too. Is Savitar always a Barry time remnant, or is he different in the comic books? Just like a regular villain that Barry takes on? So now that we have all the details on show Savitar, I was wondering the difference between comic Savitar and show Savitar. Flash gets 10 out of 10 save the date cards delivered in a flash. Kara is a true hero, putting the safety of her city above personal happiness, and using that lead bomb, even knowing that would mean that Monel would have to leave Earth. I'm wondering if he'll have to leave Earth forever, or at some point if the lead will have dissipated from Earth's atmosphere so that Monel could come back. And where'd he go anyway? Did he get sucked into a black hole? Is he going back into the Phantom Zone to go into stasis and wait? What's happening there? And another mystery pod to ponder over for the summer. I really do love superhero summer pondering. I am really pleased to get the payoff of 5 years of flashbacks on Arrow, to see it all come full circle. I have complete faith in Felicity, Curtis, and the rest of the team to figure out a way off of that island so that the Team Arrow didn't really explode when the rest of the island did explode. I was happy to see Malcolm save his daughter, and I'm hoping that the new season brings Oliver developing a relationship with his son. And I wouldn't mind a return of Felicity either. Did you see those scenes? I mean, they're so wonderful together. I might be on an island of one here, but that's how I feel. 10 out of 10 Exploding Island. Oh, I think I forgot to mention. Supergirl got 10 out of 10 necklaces to remember me by. Hey, got another question for you guys. Last year on the Fandom Zone, you covered Winona Earp after the fact, and the new season starts in June. So I was wondering if you will be covering Winona Earp on the live TV schedule. Have a great week.
Thank you, Justina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Savitar is completely different.
Yes.
He's a guy.
Yeah, he's
He doesn't wear a suit.
Essentially, he's he set himself up as like a Hindu god of speed, and he's got a cult of followers.
Right.
And so, yeah, he's completely different in the comics.
Right. And he's just a guy.
The TV show version is essentially Savitar in name only.
Right.
Sign up.
And the fact that he started out having this little cult, like he wanted a cult.
Yeah.
But that got dropped right away.
Right.
So that the thread of that was.
Yeah, you notice they just completely ignored that aspect.
Petered out right away.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as they got rid of
Julian as
Dr.
Alchemy.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mirror Master and all that. And what was the other thing she asked? Where's Mon-El going?
Right.
I think we talked about that.
And are we going to cover Winona Earp season 2?
I'm guessing yes, right?
I think so. We should have an opening on our schedule.
Yes, we should over the summer. Was there anything else?
The question is, when do we want to start?
Well, I'm thinking we'll do it when it airs.
Which is, I think it's starting up soon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So put it on the calendar.
Yeah, put it on the calendar. We'll do.
Mon-El went into, I don't think he went into a black hole. We talked about that. They already announced who it is that's in the pod, Justina, on Supergirl. It's Rain.
Yep.
One of the world breakers. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So you can look that up.
World Killers.
World Killers, thank you. But we'll be recording Made of Steel this next week, and I will give you a Cougars comic corner for that, so you can read the comic to go along with it. The Flash.
And whenever they cast the role, I will post something on Damn Good Coffee.
Right.
So that you can get some background on the character.
Oh, and the Speed Force. She asked about the Speed Force.
Right.
No. Doesn't work like that at all.
No, we already did that rant.
Yeah, not at all. He does get caught in the Speed Force, but it's because he, quote unquote, dies, and that was the way to bring him back. That he kind of evaporated into the Speed Force instead of dying. Yeah. So.
And while he does take over for Barry in the comics, at least he did back in the 80s.
Right. And he was the main Flash.
When he died in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
But he was the Flash for a good long time.
Right. He was the main Flash. He wasn't Kid Flash. He was the main Flash.
He was essentially the third Flash. Like Jay Garrick was the first Flash, Barry Allen was the second, and Wally West was the third Flash.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Wally West was like one of the longest running Flashes.
Yep.
So.
He was the first one to really graduate into from being a Teen Titan into becoming a member of the Justice League.
Right. But they made fun of him a lot.
Yeah, depending on the writers and depending on
Yeah.
In Justice League Europe, yes, but that was a comedy book.
And some of them, some of his incarnations, he kind of exploited his fame a little bit.
Early on.
Yeah. Until Booster Gold came around, and then that became his job to sell himself out.
Yeah. And then Mark Waid came around and fixed everything.
Yes. So, so you should read all those comics.
Lots of great comics, especially read the ones by Mark Waid.
Mark Waid. Anything by Mark Waid, seriously.
Yeah. He's
so good. All right, so I think that's it for us, right?
I think so. So, yeah. Next week, I think we only have 4 shows. Maybe
so
5.
We'll just have...
Maybe 5, if depending on when Winona Earp starts.
So we'll probably just have one episode next week?
Yeah, I think we only have one part next week because, no need to pad this out to 2.
Right. Okay, so if you want to get a hold of us, like Justina does, you can email us at fandomzonecast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast. Or you can find us on Twitter at Fandom Zonecast. Where can they find you, Mr. Skaggs?
They can find me at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine, at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram, Facebook, of course, Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus, and my blog of geeky things.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Damn good coffee and hot.
How was your timing on that?
It was good.
Good.
Where I talk about all the comic book shows that we cover here on the Fandom Zone podcast and more.
Many more.
All kinds of comic book movie news and
genre shows, Doctor Who, Twin Peaks, and more. So, and speaking of which, I do the other two podcasts. I do Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast, with friend of the show, Jesse Jackson, and Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast, which I do with Zan Sprouse. And we're going to be reviewing this week episodes 3 and 4 of the new Twin Peaks, which premiered last week and was awesome. Yay.
And weird and disturbing and all
I heard.
It was great. It was
heard.
everything you wanted it to be. You had no idea what you had no idea what you watched, but it was awesome.
People are digging it.
It was great. So yeah, got a lot of good reviews from Twin Peaks fans.
Very cool.
Yep.
And I am at Eleveria on the Twitter machine. And there's a link in my bio to my blog, at which you can find all my other links. And please feel free to listen and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 4 or 5-star review.
Yes.
That's what you need to do. 5 stars would be good.
And should we talk about a possible appearance by you? Maybe.
I don't know. I signed something that says I'm not supposed to talk about.
You got a non-disclosure? Well, then forget it.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
I will talk about it after the fact if it happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's better.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to get you in any trouble here.
Yeah, I signed a bunch of things.
But there was a cool thing that happened. Let's just put it that way.
There was a very cool thing that made me hyper this last week. And something may come of it where you guys will be able to see me somewhere where I'm not normally seen.
There you go. That's good.
But I signed many things.
Yeah.
So I can't say it.
It's cool.
Now. It is cool. Very cool.
All
right. So that is it for both parts A and B of 105 of the Fandom Zone. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thea, just shut up, Thea. Enough. You're driving me crazy.
The show's over, Bean.